We are back in the land of the living and back home in Auckland off our Flyers High. And as promised, we are on day 7 and I'm talking about the hormonal hierarchy. Did you even know that there was a hierarchy to our hormones? I had no idea until I did the certification course, Fast Like a Girl certification under Dr. Mindy Pels, and it's just so fascinating. So I'm just going to go through it quickly. At the bottom of the hierarchy is our sex hormones, and Dr. Mindy puts the thyroid hormone in there as well. So our sex hormones being our progesterone, our testosterone and our estrogen, they are meant to fluctuate throughout the month according to our cycle, and if you haven't got a cycle, they still fluctuate as we go through, and they decline as we go through perimenopause and menopause. The thyroid hormone is meant to stay consistent, but often if there's a thyroid issue, then that will be controlled generally through medication, because that's just the way that doctors go. Sitting above, so what you need to know is that if you haven't got the hormone above balanced, then it's gonna throw the hormones below you out of whack. Sitting above the sex hormones is insulin. Now, we've learned in previous videos that insulin is connected to the amount of glucose that comes into the body from your food, and it's an indication of whether you are insulin resistant or if you're insulin sensitive. Just quickly, if you're insulin sensitive, then when the process will be seamless, the insulin will be released to take the glucose from your food into your cells so that it can do the jobs, create the energy and do the jobs that it needs to do. If there's too much glucose coming in, then too much insulin is being released, and that insulin and glucose can't get into the cells, so it will be stored elsewhere in the body. And often it can be stored in the brain, in the tissue, in the muscles, in the eyes, and also, but predominantly, especially for us midlife women, as fat. So insulin, if you keep your blood sugars stable, then you are going to more likely be insulin sensitive, because that's what we want. Insulin is connected to it's our fat storage hormone. Okay, so too much insulin, then that's going to be stored as fat. Now, sitting above insulin is cortisol. Now, what do we know cortisol is? Our stress hormone. And if you are a rushing woman, according to Dr. Libby Weaver, and you're leading a very, very stressed life and wondering why you can't lose weight, that's probably one of the main reasons why you can't lose weight. Because if your body is far too stressed, your body feels like it's in danger, and therefore it will hold on to the weight because it needs to feel safe. Right, so then it won't release the weight because it feels like it's in that fight or flight mode. And you might have heard Dr. Libby talk about the fight or flight mode or the rest and digest. That is your sympathetic nervous system or your parasympathetic nervous system. You can think of the parasympathetic nervous system as where you are peace and you're feeling calm, whereas the sympathetic is when you're in that stress, fight or flight mode. So if you're always rushing, you've got a list as long as your arm, you're feeling stressed, your work is really busy, and you never stop and slow down, you're going to be in the sympathetic nervous system. Your body's going to hold on, feel like it's not safe, and it won't release the weight. So that's cortisol. Sitting at the very top is the hormone oxytocin. And this is something that I didn't know. I had no idea. I didn't know much about oxytocin. I had no idea that it sat right at the top. And did you know that between 40 and 50 is the most common age that women in midlife will commit suicide? And the reason for that is because their hormones are all over the show. They are losing estrogen. Estrogen and oxytocin are best friends. And so when estrogen is declining, so is oxytocin. Oxytocin is our love hormone. It's like our connection. It's our sense of feeling connected to other people and other women. And when we are losing estrogen, we're also losing progesterone. We've not got the calm, we've got anxiety, we've got stress, there's so much going on, and oxytocin makes us feel really lonely and disconnected. So at the top of all these hormones, the hormonal hierarchy, we need to look at ways that we can get oxytocin. Now, ways that we can get oxytocin is being part of a community. That is, one of the reasons why I started my Wicked Healthy Tribe, because I took these women on a health journey, like it started at 6 weeks, and they loved the community, and they were like, what's next? I was like, I don't know. So I took them on another 6-week journey, and then they're like, but we want to stay together. So that's why I created the Wicked Healthy Tribe, because it's community. And the women in it just love to be connected and together. So if you haven't got a community, you need to find a community that you want to join. And that's why next month in July in my tribe, we're doing an oxytocin challenge. And we're going to look at daily ways that we can get oxytocin into our body. Now, ways that you can do that is acts of kindness is oxytocin, patting a pet. That calming feeling that you get from patting a pet. You can even by touching your own skin, that gives you oxytocin, spending time with friends, actually even going out and doing 10 minutes of cardio gives you oxytocin. Do it with a friend, and then it amplifies that. Just being with people and being with friends and intimacy, sex gives you oxytocin, because you can feel that sense of security and that touch and that skin being together. So I would love to know, is this something that you already knew, or is it all quite new to you? If you want to learn more about the tribe, the Wicked Healthy Tribe and my community, then send me a message or comment below, and I'm happy to share some details with you. But just to recap, at the top sits oxytocin, underneath sits cortisol, next is insulin, and at the very bottom is our sex hormones, progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone, and the thyroid hormone. So, number one, we need to look at ways that we can get more oxytocin, and just especially for us women in midlife. All right, so thank you so much for joining me this week, and I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I don't even know what my topic is tomorrow. I know we're going on to the food tomorrow for next week, and I know that there's a smoothie. I'm making a smoothie in the kitchen and a nourishing meal in the kitchen, but I don't know what the days are. But I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.